a slight logistical mix-up here. Okay, I'm getting used to that now with the tent across the street, which is the venue for our fair in December. But Design Miami shows specifically rare historical and contemporary limited edition design. So we do not show fine art in our show at all.
The contemporary fairs, there is a lot of competition in this environment because there are so many fairs. I think
it's so little time.
And so little time. Most of the time, the galleries that are interested in having a presence here know which fair they want to be in. There's competition amongst the galleries to compete to get into the fair of their choice. There's competition amongst us as organizers to solicit the galleries of art choice that we want to have in our fair. So we're all kind of cross-competing in the contemporary art fair world. But in the end, it kind of shakes out very nicely that they all end up with a very different program and offer something unique to the audience, which I think is something we can all be proud of, because it's not an easy feat.
You know, what does each fair do so that when you're at the fair, you know you're at that fair? There's something distinguishable other than the art, so that when you go back and try to remember, where did I see that?
There's, besides printed catalogs, that's really up to the visitor to figure out where they were.
Because it does become a blur.
It does become a blur, especially if you're looking at a lot of contemporary art, and you know that's why being organized for me, it's just.
Well, for me, one of the distinguishing things about NADA, first of all, it does seem to be a more cohesive fair, whether they tried to or not. I think it was the fact that they have a selecting committee, and that selecting committee probably has a certain emphasis on the kind of dealers they're inviting, but also the cafe outdoor situation, that's memorable, and the hammocks. Is that by choice to create a different type of atmosphere?
Well, the hammocks came, that was sort of not by accident, but NADA was actually the first fair to be in Miami. It had 1 year on the beach in a vacant retail space, the very first year, and then I moved into the Ice Palace in 2004, and the owner of the building just said, hey, I have these hammocks, should I put them up? And I said, yeah, that'd be great, and they became a huge hit. And if I am speaking with someone who's trying to remember which fair NADA was, I say the one with the hammocks, I usually get it to go, oh yeah, I remember. They're very popular. But it wasn't really, now, you know, we kind of, once we realized that garden was such a, you know, popular place for people to hang out and relax and eat and spend the day, we just tried to increase that every year and make it just a more enjoyable experience.
And one of the one of the reasons the Bridge Fair on the beach was well visited was because it was the Sagamore Hotel always had a brunch for VIPs and upper level members, so we were able to easily go there, and I think it had that advantage going for it.
Yeah, that was great because you have the Satai and the Delano and the Sagamore on Miami Beach. I think the Wynwood Fair, the Bridge Fair this year, is going to be distinguished because it's the first time that it's going to have a focus on Latin American art. It's the only focus on Latin American art in
No, it's not.
I think during Basel, isn't
We have
it?
a disagreement here.
At least that's what I've been told. It's called Puente Arte Latinoamericano, and
Well, it's not the only fair with a focus on Latin American art.
is it going to have a whole section on Latin American?
I'm not convinced because I haven't heard that it actually is.
Yeah, it's a whole section of fair.
Red Dot has a lot of Latin American galleries too, so it's not. I mean, it's not like it's the only fair with Latin American art.
I'm reading the website
We have
of
someone
Bridge.
that's something to know here.
I have a question for Derek on food track. But generally, traditionally, people come to this area the collectors from Miami Beach, Greenwood, and the design district on that Saturday, because there are more events going on, and usually that's the way I'm sorry. We need one person.
Hello. Okay. My question is in terms of foot traffic. Traditionally, the 8 years of Art Basel, the collectors come here only the Saturday, or they come back and forth between the beach and Greenwood and the design district. But the biggest event or the biggest concentration of people comes on that Saturday during the fair. I wanted to ask you if you knew if that was going to change, because there are so many fairs concentrated within, the Midtown Miami, or do you think that that's going to be the same story this year, where they're just going to be that Saturday, they're going to be brought over from the main, from the island to the mainland? So I was wondering if anyone knew if that was going to change this year, or...
We can't change that. It's not something that we can change because it's really dictated by the visitors who are either here from out of town or coming locally. Saturday is a big day for everybody because they're not working that day. People who don't work, who are visiting here for the fairs, they start on Tuesday. And having run Art Miami last year on Northwest 2nd Avenue, we were packed on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday is always the slowest day for some reason. But
Come on Friday.
And Saturday, I don't know. Are you speaking more for the galleries, or are you with the gallery? Yeah.
Here in Miami as a nonprofit, but...
Yeah, it's, I think Saturday's just kind of a traditional day for most people who go to art events, so it's very hard to navigate that, and we can't dictate that at all.
Other questions?
Given the state of the economy, how many galleries have pulled out, and what do you expect for turnout? The art world is still reasonably strong, but I'm wondering what's going to happen, because we have so many hundreds of galleries coming from all over the world, and it's just a wonderful experience. And I also wanted to comment in terms of the different fairs. They all have their own flair and their own concentrations, and as a collector, I enjoy walking around. There's certain fairs I like to go to because I know certain galleries and certain focuses are going to be there.
Anyone willing to talk?
I'll talk about it. No, there have been, all the fairs have experienced a little bit of change in the number of galleries that they're ending up with. Not all of them, but we're all full. That's not the problem. But there were definitely some galleries that were hard hit early on and decided not to come to the fairs this year.
It's an expensive proposition.
Very expensive.
You have to pay.
Yeah, for them it's a huge risk and investment. But in terms of the visitors, there's no way to really know. We're assuming, I've asked a lot of people, and the feedback we're getting is yes, people are coming. The hotels are filling. There might be a few people who've canceled reservations, but I think on the whole, I think it's going to be a more qualified buying crowd. That's sort of how I'm expecting it to go, because you might be missing some of the people who just come for the parties, but I think the people who are serious about art, they're going to come, and it's going to be really good for the galleries. They actually might have some space to be able to work in, because sometimes it's so crowded, especially at Art Basel, where people can't move, and it's not always inviting. So I think maybe a few less people, but more qualified people, will be positive.
Yeah, the one thing about the art world is, if you're really in the art world, and particularly the contemporary art world, you've got to travel, and you've got to be at Basel. There's certain things that happen during the year in the international art calendar, and this is one of them. And it's to see what's here, see who's here, and to have that exchange of information that can be done on the internet or reading about it, if